All right. Well, we're gonna get to Hangman Adam Page burning down houses a little later on, but that's not gonna be our first topic of the show. I'm starting with Monday Night Raw from last week. That's the angle that I've chosen as our main angle to open up today. It's CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, but I'll go through some pictures, not a full-on review, or I'm not gonna give in detail review. You guys could go back and look for this on the internet if you want to watch the whole scene, but I'll show some pictures, some things that I plucked out. CM Punk came out, and he beat Drew McIntyre, who they had been feuding for quite a while now already. And it seemed like a blow-off match because it was a strap match, and CM Punk won, right? Like, pretty much fair and square, no interference, nothing weird. So he just beat him clean, and then he comes out to gloat. He was very happy. He was talking up his victory. He was shining bright. His skin was glowing this night.
He was ready to challenge Gunther.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yes, he challenged Gunther. He mentioned Gunther by name. He's like, I want that World Heavyweight title. And then he went to the announce table, and I was like, well, is that it? Because I really wasn't expecting Drew to attack him because he lost. I was like, yeah, I guess so. I kind of was too. So right when he's, showboating to the crowd from the announce desk, he stood up on it, and that's when a masked, hooded figure, not masked, but hooded, but he's got Drew McIntyre's chest and everything, so obviously.
It could be no one else.
Yeah, he's like the only guy that buff. So yeah, he takes off the hood and they reveal it's Drew, and it's not over for him. So they just did it like that. There wasn't really like a reason, but the reason is here's let me go through the pictures first, and then I'll get you guys' opinions about this. But okay, so Wade Barrett, the announcer, the commentator, tried to calm him down, which he's done that before when he's lost his mind, which is pretty cool. But this time he couldn't get him to stop. So Drew basically was like, he just continued the assault. He's got this demented look, dissociated look on his face, right? He's gone to another plane of existence. But he drags CM Punk into the ring, throws him into the ring. Staff tries to stop it, and then this is what happened that was significant on this scene. That damn bracelet that has been haunting this feud, the bracelet with CM Punk's wife and dog's name on it that has changed possession several times. Drew has stolen it, Punk stole it back, Drew stole it back. Now Drew took it back again, but this time he fucking destroyed it and into a million pieces. Oh, and then he shoved it into CM Punk's mouth and made him swallow it. So it was mayhem. It was absolute pandemonium. They're trying to get Drew McIntyre out of here, and here's a fierce picture of Drew McIntyre. He's just consumed by hatred, right? So Adam Pearce is trying to get him out of there, and they brought the gurney out right away. They were ready with that, like the EMTs and stuff. So they attend to CM Punk during the commercial break, and then when we came back from commercial break, they were taking Punk to the ambulance, and that's when Drew McIntyre cut him off at the pass again and attacked him very brutally, and got into his face, and CM Punk is bleeding from the mouth and everything. And so there you go. This was a good scene, according to Vlad. Well, Vlad's rating he gave it a fire rating. So on our Malapert Smark new rating system, we have above 2 thumbs up, and this was fire. And this is Vlad's first fire rating that he's ever given to any angle on our podcast so far.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I didn't give it to the angle where there was a literal fire, but that we'll discuss later. But this was definitely a fire segment.
All right, and then Robert gave it 2 thumbs up, so still a very, very strong rating. I think the highest rating basically is a 2 thumbs up to me. Once you're going into the fire part, you're saying that this is like one of the best things in wrestling history, I would say. So, all right, Vlad, well, I'll start the clock for you. I'll give you 90 seconds to give your thoughts about this. A very, very high rating for Vlad on this one. So.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe you would agree or not, but this is one of the best angles, not just in modern wrestling history, but maybe in all of wrestling history.
Oh, for sure.
There's been some questionable choices made in this thing. I'm not saying there hasn't been. At one point, it was just on fire, and everything they did was great. There's been some questionable things about the matches, I think, mostly, but the feud itself is crazy good. Like, this was a great segment. I mean, I was wondering how they would get Drew to get some of his heat back. And this was tremendous. I mean, he just annihilated Punk. I know he did something similar in Chicago on that SmackDown. But this time they actually showed most of it. On that SmackDown, he was just picked him up and he was already bloody, and we didn't really see the majority of the attack. It was just like we had to imagine what he did. Right here, they showed it. It was
and
great.
He broke the bracelet.
I was about to get to that. He just broke the bracelet, which I hope kind of. I mean, it's cool that that's what they've been fighting over a little bit, kind of. But
no, it's good that it's gone, man.
It's good that it's gone. Yeah, I agree. I think it's good that it's gone because I think. So what's left for them to do? I mean, I think we kind of discussed that they probably will have like some sort of Hell in a Cell type match. I think that's the only way this thing could finish. And I'm going to assume that Punk will go over, like usually the babyface will, and Drew's heel. But I mean, just kudos to both of these guys. They've done so well with this whole thing. I mean, it's just been off the charts. Just the best thing in wrestling for the past we're in September. Going on 8 to 9 months easily. So, kudos.
Well, let me move on to Robert. Robert, please go ahead. Your first review of the day. Yours was a 2 thumbs up, so you didn't move it into the fire rating, but still a really good rating. Your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Well, fire ratings, man, I don't know. There's very few segments that I would probably give a fire rating for. Like maybe that trial of the tribal chief that happened last year, I would have given that a fire rating. I thought that was awesome. This was very good though. This was awesome, and yes, for me this is the best feud of the year, and it's not even close. It's not even close. Like who cares what the second best one is because it doesn't touch this. So I'm definitely all for this feud extending for as long as it has. And I believe we touched on it in last week's podcast when, I don't know which one of us brought it up, but as far as matches go, the record is tied 1-1. So one of them has to get that final victory. So no surprises here. And then part of the recap, CM Punk did say that this Raw was literally just a pit stop on his way to go home to see his wife, right? He mentioned that during his promo, and then he got attacked. So, boy, boy.
It was perfect, man. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful work.
It's crazy. I love it. Nothing bad to say about this.
Definitely not. All right, well, I gave it 2 thumbs up also on my review on our posts. You could go to our review posts, our community posts on our YouTube page to see our reviews, but I gave it 2 thumbs up. I probably didn't move it up higher than that, only because I thought it was kind of a cold way to just bring his heat back, to just attack him after he'd already lost clean. Like, that kind of ruined it for me. Like, I was not excited to see this segment today. I was like, well, okay, if they continue, it really shouldn't, but okay. But the way they did it was good. The facial expressions, the intensity from Drew McIntyre, just the acting was fantastic. But I guess there was that little bit of an inkling of they did this wrong that kind of took it a little bit away from me. Just a little bit, but that's the Malapert Smark in me criticizing this. But overall, it was really good. So I'm happy with it.